This is the Royals POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Kansas City Royals. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome into the Royals POSTCAST, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I'm your host, Chance Liebau, and I'm here to bring you reaction to every single Royals game the rest of the way. Follow me on Twitter at Chance Liebau. That's at ChanceLiebau. That is also right there in my name tag here on the live stream. But don't worry, if you're not here live, these episodes will always be uploaded for you to listen to on demand wherever you get your podcasts. I want to say thank you so much for making the Locked On Royals podcast or the Royals POSTCAST your first listen of the day. And thank you so much for getting us up to 3,400 subscribers on YouTube. Before we get started, if you are not yet, subscribe to the channel and turn on our notifications so you get an alert whenever we go live. I want to say thanks for joining the show, and feel free to join the live chat and let us know your thoughts on the game. And I'll do my best to respond to your comments. We'll have plenty of comments to get through, I'm sure, tonight, as this was a disappointing start to the series for the Royals, a record-breaking loss for the Royals in a sense, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But want to say thank you guys so much for joining, and be sure to join the live chat as we'll get to as many comments as we possibly can. While we are here, let's get right into it. Here's what you'll be talking about.
This is what you'll be talking about.
Team record, 14 walks, 14 double Bs. They said it, no team in Royals history has won a game while walking 10 batters or more. The Royals walked 14. And tonight, they didn't get a good outing out of Rich Hill. That was kind of what and, the first start for a guy is going to be a little bit different than what the overall sample set is going to be throughout the season. So what Rich Hill gave you in the Cubs game is probably a little bit different than what he was going to get for the entire season. But in my opinion, the start in the Cubs game signaled that this start was a possibility. His command in the Cubs game was atrocious. He was not around the zone at all. He was getting some chases. He was falling behind in the count, but he was getting some weak contact on guys chasing out of the zone, being a little bit too aggressive because they know it's a 45-year-old sidewinder up there on the mound. And knowing that he doesn't have great command, that he does not really have overpowering stuff, you're going to get teams to chase a little bit when there's not a book out on you yet for the season, at least. Tonight, the Braves had a book on him. The Braves I don't want to say knew exactly what's coming, but the Braves had a decent idea of what they were going to see at the plate tonight. They weren't going to see strikes. They weren't going to see fastballs in the zone. They're going to see get me over curveballs from the left side, and they were going to see fastballs biting around the zone, but they weren't going to see very many fastballs in the zone. I'm going to look at it right now. Give me a second while I pull it up on Savant. I probably should have had this up, but I've been, as you can tell, taking some notes overall because I'm also hosting our daily show at my full-time gig. So for Rich Hill, let's go to his player breakdown. So Rich Hill's fastball today was in the zone 65% of the time. So it was in the zone a decent bit, 52%. Or sorry, no, that was his curveball. His fastball was in the zone 46% of the time. And that does not include his sinkers, which are in the zone just 33% of the time. So you weren't getting good command out of a guy that does not have overpowering stuff. That's a combination that, in my opinion, is not going to be good for you. That is a combination for a really, really bad outing. And so you get that from him. And now I think that's probably, they probably need another start or two out of him to at least, hold you over until Michael Lorenzen is back, or until you can make another move. But I would not be surprised if that's the last start he makes, because he was not competitive at all. He was able to strand walks. He had 6 walks tonight. That was not good at all. He was not sharp on the mound. The command was not there, and the Braves were seeing him really well. He was getting some relatively hard contact right at guys, was able to get out of some jams, but you just knew after the second inning when he was able to strand a pair, the second time through, after Acuna took him deep after the 2-out walk to Matt Olson, you knew that you were not going to get more than 4 innings out of the guy. You could not throw him that deep into the game because he's not going to be seen that well the second time through the order. I mean, he's a guy that has, a couple different variations of his fastball, but none of them are that hard. The curveball is not great. He got 5 whiffs all night on 29 swings, a 17% whiff rate. They were seeing him really well. Credit the Braves for having a good approach to plate. It's a good hitting team. While they haven't hit well this season, that's a lineup that when they're on and when they're seeing you well, that's kind of just what you're going to get is a really good outing from them. So I was kind of frustrated with the Rich Hill start. I was frustrated with the start last time out. I was frustrated when they had him out last time in the Cubs outing. And, I got a lot of blowback here in the chat for sure for kind of being a pessimist. But listen, that's what he is. That's who he is at this point of his career. He's not a good pitcher. And he's a cool story, 45 years old, pitching in the big leagues, but shouldn't be pitching for a team that wants to compete. I can tell you that much. He's here out of necessity, not out of merit. I'll say that. But Rich Hill was unimpressive tonight, but he was just, he was just one piece of the problem for the Royals pitching staff tonight as they fall 10-7. They made it look pretty. They put lipstick on the pig on the 8th and 9th. But yeah, that was a really bad outing from the entire Royals pitching staff. Steven Cruz has not pitched well recently. They had to go to the JV bullpen because there was no reason to throw anybody in a game where you're down 4-2, or at that point when you really get deep in the bullpen, you get to Sam Long, you're down 5-2 in an offense that really hadn't done much outside of that first inning. So a bad outing for the Royals pitching staff. Steven Cruz getting to be a little bit concerning. I said it in the Seattle series. I'd trade him while his value is high. You have to, and I get it, you probably don't have guys that can replace him right now. Maybe it's something you revisit in the offseason to potentially get a bat. But I think Steven Cruz is probably closer to Carlos Hernandez than he is to Kelvin Herrera. I think that's safe to say at this point of his career. So a bad outing all the way around for this Royals offense, this Royals pitching staff. But we'll get to the offense here in a minute. But when we come back, we'll talk to you about the offense. A lot of MJ comments in the chat. We'll get to that when we come back here on the Royals Postcast. Ever wish that managing your money felt easier? With Monarch Money, it can. Whether you're growing your savings or planning a big purchase, Monarch puts you in the driver's seat. It's like having your own personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Monarch Money is more than a budgeting app. It's a complete financial command center. You can track all your accounts, investments, and spending in one place. So in addition to managing your money, you're also building wealth. You can track things like dining out, food delivery, online shopping, and much more. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com. Code LOCKEDONMLB for half off your first year. I want to also tell you about Gameday Hue. Gameday Hue makes clean, no logo gear with team-inspired colorways for every pro and college fan base. It's all about letting your colors speak for you with no giant logos, just smart, versatile style that works on game day, on the course, or anywhere in between. I love rocking it on the golf course because it's subtle, stylish, and I can still rep my team. It's the kind of hat that reps your team without screaming it. Subtle, but still says everything. And it's not just hats. Check out their split shade gloves made for the golf course, or the perfect gift for the fan who has everything. Right now, you can get 15% off with code MLB15 at GamedayHue.com. That's GamedayHue.com. The code even stacks on bundle deals. So now's the time to load up. Let your colors talk because colors speak louder than words. That's GamedayHue.com, code MLB15. Sorry, had to get some water. A little bit dehydrated. Let's talk the offense. I know there's a lot of MJ comments in the chat. Rightfully so. He was really bad tonight. Batting average all the way down to .068. I know I was I don't know if I'd say I was an advocate for MJ coming back up. I was more so a realist in the fact that he was the only option down in Omaha. If they were to make a trade or make a move or send a guy down, it was going to be MJ, whether he was hitting well or not. He's on the 40. He's not going to get DFA'd yet. But tonight was really, really bad. 0 for 12 since coming back. Really uncompetitive swings. Parker said it. Melendez needs to be gone. I mean, this Northern Missouri Outdoors, get Melendez out of here. He's clearly overmatched. DJ, he's not competitive right now. I very much agree. A lot of people are going to say you were wanting MJ back up. I was not wanting MJ back up in the lineup. I was saying that MJ Melendez potentially, I'm not in the clubhouse, but I was saying a guy like MJ Melendez that exudes the positive energy that he does on a night in, night out basis was really good for that clubhouse last year. A glue guy that everybody resonated with last year in the clubhouse. And he was missing, yes, you guys see some hair right there. He was missing from this clubhouse when the team was going through their poor stretch in June. Now, they didn't need his bat in the lineup. I can tell you that much right now. But having his presence in the dugout missed, I think, was a factor in the team really struggling for the longest stretch in June. But I think that this is I think this is it for Melendez. This was his last hurrah as a big league ball player, his last hurrah as a Kansas City Royal. Not saying another team won't take a chance on him. I could see him being a bounce back candidate for a team like the Angels or the A's or the Marlins, a team that has nothing to lose and could take a flyer on a guy that has decent upside, but really low downside. But Melendez was bad. You also get relatively nothing out of the bottom of the order until late. Randall Grichuk, I was really happy with him tonight, getting his first home run with the Royals. But Kyle Isbell, uncompetitive at-bats. Adam Frazier didn't really hit the ball that hard tonight. When Freddie came in, I get it. He had that 2-run single in the 9th inning. But when Freddie came in, you could see the Braves attack him a little bit more aggressively than they would have Salvi in that spot. But you get a really great game out of Michael Garcia. I mean, I continue to be impressed by what Michael has been able to do in this second half of the season, because I was in the same boat as Jack, saying that I thought that Michael might regress back to the mean. I thought this was 99th percentile output from Michael Garcia early in the season. So I thought he was going to take at least a little bit of a step back. I really did. But he has exceeded all my expectations since coming back from the All-Star break and has done an excellent job so far. There was another edge to him tonight, obviously playing against his cousin, Ronald Acuna Jr., testing him on that throw and right. Probably not the best decision, but obviously scored a run, hustling out a couple of doubles. I mean, I was really, really pleased with what Michael Garcia was able to put in display on the field tonight. I wish, I don't mind him not hustling all the time. There's 162 games in the season. It's a bit of a gripe. It's when their team is losing 100 games, you can be and moan all you want about a guy not hustling, but they need Michael Garcia for games in September, not games in May. So I don't mind him not hustling ground ball, running out every single ground ball with 100% effort. So, but him tonight having that edge to him was obvious, and you saw it in the results. He goes 3 for 4 with a walk and a pair of doubles. Bobby Witt Jr., pair of doubles, league leading 36 doubles. He continues to be. I just cannot express how good Bobby Witt Jr. is. I think we take him for granted far too often. Salvador Perez obviously leaving early. I know a lot of people in the comments are wondering if he's going to be okay. I'd imagine he's going to be okay. It looked like it got him on the elbow guard. Maybe got him a bit on the forearm, but yeah, I thought the offense was relatively unspectacular tonight, and I think that they'll continue to struggle. Now, what is the best lineup for this team? I thought tonight, if you replace MJ with John Rave, which, gosh, it pains me to even say that out loud, those words out loud. If you replace MJ with John Rave, that's probably your best 9 you can run out there. When Caglione comes back, you probably throw him in there in right or at DH and have Grichuk in the outfield. So I think this was one of the more competitive Royals lineups they've thrown out there in a while. I mean, we've seen lineups with Tyler Bleeping Tolbert playing center field here in the last 2 weeks. So I was pleased with how the lineup card looked coming into tonight. But obviously, they get 7 runs, but they only had 3 going into the 9th, and they were able to at least add some runs to their Pythagorean theorem, but didn't just do much tonight. MJ really bad. I know he's going to be the scapegoat. He's probably at this point he's going to be up until Lofton or Caglione returns, and then from that point on, who knows? I think this is MJ's last hurrah. But I wish him the best. He's a great guy. It seems like he's a great guy that the team resonates with. But yeah, I think the offense needs another upgrade. But tomorrow Seth Lugo goes, and we don't have to speculate, is this Seth Lugo's last start in a Royals uniform? Seth Lugo's here to stay. And if you want more analysis on that, head over to the previous video on this channel, because Jack did a great job in detailing the Seth Lugo contract and what it means for the Royals heading into the final week of trade season here in Major League Baseball. Appreciate you guys for tuning in tonight. We will be back tomorrow with another edition of the Royals Postcast, be coming to you at a similar time and at the same place. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, turn on our notifications, and like the video. We'll see you guys tomorrow night for Royals Postcast on the Locked On Podcast Network.